Pennsylvania Democratic Gubernatorial candidate Josh Shapiro held a campaign event on Thursday. Shapiro spoke about his plans to help young people in the state, such as getting rid of standardized testing, funding mental health resources, and curbing gun violence. He hammered his Republican opponent, Doug Mastriano, over abortion and for his ties to former President Donald Trump. He called out Mastriano for being seen near the Capitol on January 6th. Current polls show Shapiro leading Mastriano by a wide margin.
Has been around since 1812. We started as an academy, and at our origins, part of our mission was to educate our students for citizenship. And we continue with that effort today with a voter registration drive that involves our students this semester. We've also had the pleasure of hosting a number of public officials and candidates for public office over the years, and today we're delighted to continue that tradition by hosting Attorney General Josh Shapiro, candidate for governor of Pennsylvania. I also want to quickly orient those of you who are new. This is our home in Williamsport, but this is what we call Old City Williamsport, which is undergoing revitalization. And this building and the Trockty Music Center were not here 5 years ago. That boulevard was a narrow single-lane street, and in the future we will have an additional development, a mixed-use development. So the college has been partnering with revitalizing this section of the city, and we're delighted to welcome you here to Lycoming College in Old City, Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And now McKenna Long, who is the chair of the Lycoming County Democratic Committee, will speak.
All right.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My name is McKenna Long. I am the chair of the Lycoming County Democratic Committee, and I want to welcome you all and thank everybody for being here. We have some wonderful people that are coming up to speak to you today. I am not going to waste a lot of your time because what they have to say is way more important than what I have to say. But I just want to come and thank you. I also wanted to thank President Trockty for having us here from Lycoming College. And without further ado, let's bring up our first speaker. She was born and raised in Lycoming County. She is your candidate for U.S. Representative of District 9, and she's also the Executive Secretary for the LCDC Committee. Let me bring up Amanda Waldman. Good morning, Williamsport.
Morning.
Woo! All right, how many of you are still cold? Because I got all this energy. Don't mind the dancing skills, they're bad. Why are we here? Who can tell me why we are here today? Getting prepared for November 8th? Woo! Josh Shapiro! Because it certainly is not to help dishonest Dougie. It is certainly not to tell Dr. Oz how to get back to New Jersey. And it is not to tell Do Nothing Dan that he is welcome to another term in our United States Congress for this district, the 9th. Dan's my opponent. And I'm going to tell you just a real quick what Dan's done. I'm going to tell you what dishonest Dougie has done. So dishonest Dan has voted against our veterans. He's voted against our wallets. He's voted against our jobs, and he's voted against our communities. And while he likes to claim he's a Davis-Bacon Republican, he votes against our unions whenever he gets the opportunity. Dishonest Doug, well, as his name might suggest, he's just against everything American, everything democratic. He wants to remove the rights of as many groups of people as he possibly can. He wants to install a dictator into the White House.
He's also a traitor to this country.
Yes, he is a traitor to this country.
He's
This
anti-Semitic.
election, and I am so incredibly tired of hearing it, but I'm really tired of saying it. This election is the most important election in our lives.
Yes, it is.
It is going to take all of us. And it's not going to just take all of us here. It's going to take all of us reaching out to our neighbors, making sure they have a ride to the poll if they need it, making sure they understand just what's at stake, and that it's so important to make sure their voices and ours are heard. It's up to us to lift our communities, and it's up to us to make sure we elect Josh Shapiro as our next governor, and Austin Davis as our next lieutenant governor. Without further ado, I'm going to hand this off to the man, the myth and the legend, Mayor Derek Slaughter.
Thank you, Amanda. Let's hear it again for Amanda Waldman. Good morning, Williamsport. Are we excited to have Josh and Austin here with us this morning? As Amanda said, my name is Derek Slaughter, and I have the great pleasure of serving as mayor here in Williamsport. I want to first thank Lycoming College for graciously offering to serve as our host, and for Josh and Austin including Williamsport as a key stop on their bus tour this morning. We have numerous projects, as Dr. Trogdie alluded to, a few happening throughout the city, and where we are standing right now here in Old City represents a key part of the positive transition that's taking place here in Williamsport. This is what it looks like to take an area that was relatively stagnant, make it vibrant again, and stimulate growth. We have these two beautiful new buildings, the Craft Gateway Center behind me and the Trogdie Music Building across the street. We have the Pine Ridge mixed-use development that's getting ready to start taking place. We have the redevelopment happening at the Salvos and the streetscape as well, John Ryan Brewery, Woodridge, Basin Street Plaza, the Riverwalk Connector. I could go on and on. This is what happens when you have communities that work together, when you have leadership that works together, and that's what Josh and Austin are going to do in Harrisburg, and we need to keep that momentum going. This is what private and public partnerships look like, improved infrastructure and investments in small businesses, when you have a government that works with people and cares about making transformational changes in our community. We're not the only ones realizing what is happening here in Williamsport. Folks in Harrisburg and DC are seeing it as well. We need to keep this momentum going, keep this energy going, not just here in Williamsport, but throughout the entire state. And I know, and we all know, two people who can make that happen. Two people who have and who continue to get the job done. Josh and Austin have real, competent plans for education, for mental health, public safety, infrastructure, the economy, and the labor market, to name just a few. They have taken on the big fights and won. They have had our backs, and now we need to have theirs. I know we will, because all of you and your family and your friends and your friends' friends are going to get to the polls on Tuesday, November 8th, to make sure we send Josh and Austin to Harrisburg as our next governor and lieutenant governor of this great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. As a representative in the State House, Austin quickly rose to lead the Allegheny Democratic House Caucus and brought back millions of dollars in investments to his district. He has also been a leader day in and day out on key issues in Harrisburg that affect all of us. It is a true privilege and honor to introduce my friend and colleague and our next Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Williamsport. Please help me give a warm welcome to Austin Davis.
Hello, Williamsport. Are you guys fired up? Are you ready to elect Josh Shapiro as our next governor? Are you ready to send Amanda Waldman to Congress? I am so thrilled to be back here in Lycoming County to be your Democratic nominee to serve as Pennsylvania's next lieutenant governor. I'm also glad to be back here with Pennsylvania's next second lady, my wife, Blair Holmes Davis. You know, I'm running for lieutenant governor for two primary reasons. One, to be a strong governing partner for Josh, to help him take on those big fights I know we're going to have in the months and years ahead, but to also be a fighter for working class families here in Pennsylvania. That's something that's deeply personal to me. I'm the proud son of a union bus driver and a hairdresser. Literally, my dad's driving a bus today in the city of Pittsburgh to help folks get where they need to go. I know what it's like to come from a family that's often had to get creative to make ends meet, to make sure that my sister and I had every opportunity to succeed, to make sure that we could become first-generation college graduates in our family. And you know what? Working class families need leaders in Harrisburg who have their backs. And I'm here to tell you, Josh Shapiro and I will always have the backs of working class families here in Pennsylvania when we're serving you as your next governor and lieutenant governor. I believe that the people closest to the pain should be closest to the power. The decisions we make every single day in Harrisburg disproportionately affect working class communities, black and brown communities all across this Commonwealth. And those folks ought to be sitting at the table making those big decisions on behalf of our communities. Government should be representative of the people we seek to serve. So I came to Williamsport today to ask you to help me and help Josh. Help me make history to become Pennsylvania's first black lieutenant governor. To make sure we build a Commonwealth that leaves no one behind, that lifts everyone up, that values our diversity. Look, folks, we have, 5 days now? 5 days until the most important election of our lifetime. Amanda said it best. If you care about our fundamental rights and our fundamental freedoms, all of that is on the line on November 8th. Josh and I are running against the most extreme and dangerous Republican ticket in the country.
Yes. Yes.
Doug Mastriano seeks to destroy the union way of life here in Pennsylvania. If your family's like mine, you've benefited from a union, you know that the union way of life is the quickest way to the middle class for working class families. Make no mistake about it. The next governor is going to get a bill on his desk to make Pennsylvania a right-to-work state and destroy unions here in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Doug Mastriano will sign that bill. I will proudly stand next to Josh Shapiro when he vetoes that bill and protects the union way of life here in Pennsylvania. Doug Mastriano seeks to ban abortion without exception here in Pennsylvania, not for rape, incest, or life of the mother. He seeks to jail doctors who perform reproductive health care services. We need a governor who trusts women to make their own reproductive health care decisions. And I'm here to tell you, Josh Shapiro and I will always stand on the side of Pennsylvania's women to make their own health care decisions. Look, Doug Mastriano is the senator from Gettysburg, where the deadliest battle of the Civil War was fought, thinks it's okay to wear the Confederate uniform, the uniform of traitors. Let's be clear, that uniform to black and brown people represents the enslavement of our people. It is unconscionable that a Pennsylvania state senator thinks it's okay to wear that uniform. He has proven time and time again he's unfit to serve in the Pennsylvania General Assembly, let alone as our governor. And on November 8th, we have an opportunity to say Pennsylvania is a place that values all of our diversity, and we want leaders who respect that diversity and build a Pennsylvania that works for everyone. Our basic fundamental rights and freedoms are on the line. Our democracy is on the line here in Pennsylvania. The right to cast your ballot for the candidate that you want and have that ballot counted accordingly. Doug Mastriano talks about decertifying election machines and throwing out votes and not certifying elections where he doesn't agree with the winner. The reality is there are generations of Pennsylvanians who fought to preserve the right to vote. And that's what we're doing in this election. This is our moment. In the closing days of this campaign, I think a lot about my grandparents who came to Pennsylvania from the South in search of a better life for our family. I'm sure many of your families have that same story. I don't think my grandparents ever thought their grandson would be running for the second highest office in this Commonwealth. But they fought to make sure that I had the right to shape my own destiny. I had the ability to shape my own community and have my voice heard at the ballot box. I'm here to tell you we're not going to go back to a time where certain people, black and brown people or women, are treated like second-class citizens. We're going to defend our democracy here in Pennsylvania and send a message. I could not be more thrilled to be in this race with someone who is no stranger to taking on big fights. Just ask the student loan companies or UPMC and Highmark. Josh Shapiro has never backed down from a fight on behalf of working class people. And I know he will continue to do that as our next governor. It is my privilege to introduce to you the next governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, my friend, Josh Shapiro.
Austin Davis, everybody. Are we going to work hard to make history in Pennsylvania when we elect Austin our next lieutenant governor? Well, Lycoming College, it's good to be back and good to see all of you. Hey, students, let's make some noise here. Are you fired up? There you go. Folks, I am grateful for the chance to be with you. Grateful for the chance to talk about what is at stake here with 5 days to go before the election. And Mayor, Williamsport matters. That's why we're here. Yes. Your voices matter, your votes matter, and this community matters. Throughout this 13-month campaign for me, when I get home at night or my head hits the pillow in a hotel somewhere, I love being able to call my wife or talk to her about what I learned that day. The conversations I had with people along the way that shaped me, that taught me something, that humbled me in this process. Well, today I don't have to call my wife. She gets to see it firsthand. Pennsylvania's next First Lady, Lori Shapiro, right here. And you know, Lori and I do this work of public service, and it's a team game here. It's a team effort. We do it because of two fundamental reasons. First, because we look our four children in the eyes every day and we worry about their futures. We worry about their planet. We worry about their safety. We worry that maybe, just maybe, they're living in a world where they have fewer opportunities than the world I was blessed to be born into 49 years ago. And we worry about your kids and your grandkids too. And so when I look Sophia in the eye, or our three boys, Jonah, Max, and Ruben, I want to fight like hell to make sure their world is better. That we do a little something to give them more of an opportunity. The other reason why I do what I do is because of my faith. Now, I'm not here to preach at you or tell you what to believe, but you should know what I believe, Lycoming County. I believe that no one is required to complete the task, but neither are we free to refrain from it. Meaning each of us has a responsibility to get off the sidelines, get in the game, and do our part. From our students to our seniors, we all have a responsibility to come together and create real opportunity in this Commonwealth, and also defend our fundamental freedoms and protect our democracy. That is what's on the line right now, and that is why I am called to serve. If we think about the kind of opportunity I want to build across this Commonwealth, to me, it starts in our public schools all across Pennsylvania. And when I am governor, we will fully fund public education all across this Commonwealth. And it won't just be about writing a check, because we got to make some change. How about we do away with standardized testing in Pennsylvania? It doesn't work. How about we bring VOTEC back to our classrooms and teach the next generation of steel workers and bricklayers how they can get those skills right in our high schools? And let's be honest, our young people are struggling right now. So in addition to a great teacher and all the books and computers they need, we need to put a mental health counselor in every single school building across our Commonwealth. And we have to make sure those children can walk to and from school safely, can go to the park, can go to school, can go to church, and not worry about gun violence. When I'm governor, we will invest in public safety across Pennsylvania, because people have a right to both be safe and feel safe when they see an officer. We can balance that in Pennsylvania and bring about real safety in all of our communities.
good schools, safe communities, and we need an economy that's going to lift everybody up. Make sure those students who are graduating here from Lycoming College stay right here in Pennsylvania, giving you access to the jobs of tomorrow, whether in green energy or robotics or in biotech. We need to be able to create those jobs right here. And we need to make sure we raise wages for Pennsylvania workers. So it's finally time. Join me in doing the work to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Austin spoke about this before, but one of the best ways to raise wages is to protect the union way of life. And as long as I'm governor, this will never be a right-to-work state. We need to open up the doors of opportunity to more people who have been shut out. You know, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is the #1 employer. We employ 80,000 people. On day one, I'm going to sign an executive order doing away with the college requirement for thousands of state government jobs. Let's open up the doors of opportunity to all Pennsylvanians and give them a shot to shine. We can do this, but we need a governor. We need a governor who knows how to take on big fights and deliver real results. We've done that. I'll give you a couple examples. Listen, as Attorney General, we've arrested over 8,000 drug dealers in our communities. Dealers that have brought poisons and violence to our neighborhoods. But you see, even though we've done that, I recognize that those dealers on the street corners, they didn't manufacture this crisis that claims the lives of 14 Pennsylvanians every single day. You know who did? The greedy executives in the pharmaceutical company boardrooms. They're the ones that manufactured this crisis. That's why I took them to court and won and brought $1 billion back to Pennsylvania for treatment, because drug addiction is a disease, not a crime. We took on those student loan companies and canceled $200 million in student debt for Pennsylvania students and their families. And we took on the most powerful organization on the planet, the Roman Catholic Church. When they oversaw decades of abuse of our children, we listened to the survivors. When others turned away, we took them on, and we won. And we gave survivors their voice and their truth back and proved we would take on anyone who harms a Pennsylvanian. And folks, I want you to know I am ready for the next big fight. And that fight comes in 5 days when we defeat Doug Mastriano in this governor's race. And here's the thing. We have to defeat him because he is uniquely dangerous and incredibly extreme. Look, this is a guy who has said, as Austin talked about, his #1 priority isn't to cut your costs, make college more affordable, help seniors stay in their homes, build safe communities. No, his #1 priority is to ban all abortion with no exceptions, not for rape or incest, to save the life of the woman. And he wants to charge women with murder who have this life-saving medical procedure. Look, this is no longer a theoretical exercise. We know this is real. The legislature is going to give the next governor that bill to ban abortion. He'll sign it into law. I will veto that bill and trust the women of Pennsylvania to make decisions over their own body. He doesn't respect women. In fact, he doesn't respect a whole lot of people, because unless you think like Doug Mastriano, unless you look like him, unless you vote like him, unless you worship like him, unless you marry like him, you don't count in his Pennsylvania. You know how I know that? Because I know where he was on January 6th. And so do you. You know why he was there that day, right? Because after you cast your ballots here in Lycoming County, and it was tallied by your local board of elections, it then got certified by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, by the governor's office, by the Secretary of State. And then, before your vote could ultimately count, they had to read it across the desk in the U.S. House of Representatives on January 6th. He wasn't there that day to hear a speech. He wasn't there that day to peacefully protest. No, he was part of the violent mob that stormed past law enforcement who died that day. He stormed past law enforcement to stop your vote from being counted, because he doesn't respect you. And he's told us what he plans to do the next time. 2024, he says he's going to review the voting logs, make corrections, his words, not mine, and then decertify certain voting machines. Well, gang, I bet he's coming for the voting machines right here at Lycoming College. Because if you don't believe in what he believes, he doesn't think you count. Here's where I stand. No matter what you look like, where you come from, who you love or who you pray to, you have a place here in Pennsylvania, and I want to be your governor. This guy, he loves to, talk a good game about freedom all the time, right? You've heard him talk about freedom. I mean, come on, give me a break, right? It's not freedom to tell women what they're allowed to do with their bodies. That's not freedom. It's not freedom to tell our school children what books they're allowed to read. Bricklayer, it's not freedom to say you can work a 40-hour work week, but you can't be a member of a union. That's not freedom. And it sure as hell isn't freedom to say you can go vote, but he's going to pick the winner. That's not freedom. Right. That's not how we do things in this Commonwealth or in this country. Here's how we do it. We believe in real freedom. The kind of real freedom that comes when we invest in that kid right here in Lycoming County who wasn't going to have a shot. And she goes on to high school and learns how to be a welder, and her eyes are opened up to the idea that she can have a career in the trades. She lived till her 18th birthday in Williamsport because we invested more in law enforcement to keep those communities safe. She went on to marry the person she loved, start a family, worship where she wanted, voted for who she wanted to, built a life right here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania because we stood up when we were tested and we believed in real freedom. The kind of real freedom that leads to opportunity for all, the kind of real freedom that respects our democracy, the kind of real freedom that draws on the strength of our ancestors who have done this hard work over the last 246 years right here in this nation. 246 years of hard work. 246 years of our ancestors calling for a more just society. Doing the hard work necessary to bring people together, to perfect our union, to look our children in the eyes and say, we are going to leave this place better for you than the way we found it. That has been the American story. And the reason why I'm here today and so optimistic about our future is because I believe in all of you. And I believe you will do the work necessary to see us through this period of challenge and darkness, to help us find the light again, to defeat extremism, and to recognize your important role in our democracy and in our system. Listen, when you go vote, you're going to see the name Austin Davis. You're going to see the name Josh Shapiro. Our names may be on the ballot, but it's your rights and your future that's on the line right now. And we need you to get off the sidelines and get in the game with us and do your part. Make sure if you go home after this and you've got that ballot still sitting on your table, fill it out. Take your ballot. Put it in the secrecy envelope. Put it in the outer envelope. Sign the back. Put the proper date. And then send that ballot back immediately. If you plan to vote on Tuesday, November 8th, as Lori and I plan to vote, Blair and Austin already voted by mail. But if you're going to vote on Tuesday, then you need to make your plan right now. What time are you going? Are you going before work, in the middle of class, after work, after class? Are you bringing your kids? What time do they get home from school? Make your plan right now. Leave nothing to chance. Your vote matters. Here's the other thing that matters. Your voice. You've got a powerful voice in this process. And here's how your voice can be heard. Take a lawn sign and put it on your lawn. That's a way of you shouting out to your neighbors, we're for Shapiro. And I get it's not easy in Lycoming County to put a lawn sign on your lawn. So here's the deal. Take two. So when they steal one, you got a backup, all right? But I'm serious. Those Shapiro Davis lawn signs, that sends a message to your neighbors that they have company right here. I think we're going to surprise a bunch of folks in Lycoming County. We're going to do real well. Here's the other thing I need you to do. On Sunday, when you're leaving church in the parking lot, make sure you lean over to that person and let them know what's at stake. Let them know what really matters to you and why they should cast a vote for Austin Davis and Josh Shapiro. When you're in your dorm and you're talking to one of those students who probably doesn't pay a whole lot of attention to politics, let her know that her rights and freedoms are on the line right now, and you need them to go vote with you at the polls. Make sure you have these conversations and use your powerful voice over these next 5 days. And here's the deal. If you can just give us 5 days of hard work, 5 days of believing that your role in this democracy is worth engaging in and fighting for, if you can give us 5 days of doing the necessary work to protect our freedoms, then you need to know Austin and I are going to work our asses off for you for the next 4 years, leading this Commonwealth forward. So here's the final asks. Make your vote count. Use your voice and make it loud. And third, grab a Sharpie and sign my bus. Thank